Follow us today to a horror comedy film called Freaks of Nature 2015. Before we start, be aware, there are spoilers. The town of Dilford, Ohio is a small, wacky town that has humans, vampires, and zombies coexisting and who despise each other. Dag, a high school nerd whose parents are hippies, is talking with his friend on the way to school. Dag is obsessed with Lorelai, the hottest girl in the school, and thinks that she is into him too. Petra, a teenage social outcast, is being seduced and invited to a party by a hot vampire, Milan. At this point, Ned, another nerd in the school, is being bullied by the vampire while trying to reach Petra. Later on, Ned goes to the teacher's lounge to see Mr. Keller, a vampire teacher, to ask about his F-graded essay. However, Mr. Miller is very pissed and eventually speaks with contempt of his essay. During lunchtime, Dag learns that Lorelai is already taken by Chaz Jr., Ned's older brother. Meanwhile, Petra is talking with her friends and seems proud of being invited by Milan to the vampire party. She expects to have her very first night with him. In a while, Ned, again, is being ostracized by Milan. Then, a zombie girl comes to help. In the afternoon, Dag goes to play baseball and then is bullied by Rick, the sponsor of the baseball team, and also the manager of the local meat factory. Rick fired Dag's mom, including all of the human staff, and replaced them with cheap zombie labor. He gives a lecture to the baseball team of how to be successful like him, and encourages the young men to make America great. While playing, Dag is under pressure and distracted by Lorelai standing by the fence. Hence, he throws the ball directly to Chaz Jr.'s head, injuring him badly. In the evening at the vampire party, Petra and Milan are having some fun. Milan bites her and turns her into a vampire. He reveals that the person he is really into is Lorelai, not Petra. Meanwhile, Ned is having dinner with his family. His sport-loving dad, Mr. Mosley, clearly favors Ned's brother, Chaz Jr., over him. His parents tell him to give up his scholarship and help the family business at the parking lot. Ned leaves the house as he's fed up with his parents. Meanwhile, Lorelai sneaks into Dag's room to smoke. After Dag confesses his feelings for her, Lorelai leaves through the window. At this point, his parents, who are clearly stoned, come into his room and give him a speech about the men of the Parker family. They mention about the huge change that Dag will encounter in the near future. More specifically, the change is enormous and will frighten some girls. Dag feels uncomfortable and stops his parents. Back to Ned. After leaving home, he visits the zombie neighborhood. Here, he meets the zombie girl who helped him at the cafeteria. She introduces her family, who are sitting in a corner eating spam brains. After learning that the zombies cannot think, Ned lets the zombie girl bite him on purpose, turning him into one. He doesn't like to think, and doesn't want to be smart anymore. Meanwhile, Petra doesn't feel well and is so shocked after finding out that she has turned into a vampire. She nervously goes to the grocery store and buys some blood, but gets caught by one of her friends. Later on, we can see Dag not accept the fact that he was rejected by Lorelai. Petra is painfully coping with the vampire life, while Ned is slowly discovering about his zombie life. All of a sudden, aliens come to Dilford and appear above. The next day, the three communities of human, vampire, and zombies are separately holding meetings about the appearance of the aliens. The humans, instead of discussing the aliens, wage war against the vampires, due to the frictions they had with them before. The vampires all gather at the blood bank and also initiate war against the humans, as they think the humans brought the aliens here to eliminate them. Meanwhile, the zombies gather in their ghetto and just mention the spam brain shortage. Because zombies are always viewed as second-class citizens and treated like nothing, Ned steps up and frees all of them to get more brains. The night comes. The people of the town are murdering each other. Dag frantically gets into his car and tells Lorelai. Instead of running away, he quickly drives home after Lorelai suggests both spend a night together. Meanwhile, Petra finds Milan to confront him as she wants to be in a permanent relationship with him. However, he throws Petra off because he is not that into her. Back to Dag. While he is about to have a fun time with Lorelai, someone breaks into his room. They frantically escape through the window, but then encounter a vampire attack. Suddenly, Mr. Mosley comes and kills all the vampires. Later on, he is unexpectedly grabbed by the zombies and turned into one. While Dag and Lorelai are screaming running on the street, Petra walks out from the side of the street and chases after them. She is determined to kill Lorelai as she is jealous. Until Dag and Lorelai run to a nearby house and close the door, Ned shows up in the room with a bunch of zombies and about to attack. At that point, the vampires outside swoop in and fight the zombies. Lorelai follows Dag and runs upstairs, but Petra grabs and bites her, turning her into a vampire. Dag pushes Petra downstairs, and he's about to kill her, but he is dragged away by another vampire. Later, he ends up killing many other vampires and survives, while Ned and Petra are insanely biting the others. In the end, only Petra, Ned, and Dag are left and about to fight each other to the death. All of a sudden, the aliens appear and start to attack the people of the town, no matter if they are human, vampire, or zombie. As the aliens grab the people with its tentacles, they disappear into thin air after a flash of light. Seeing the town is in chaos, Ned, Petra, and Dag find a way to escape. They try to enter the basement of a house where Mrs. Miller, Dag's piano teacher, and her son are. While Dag peers through the door and checks out the situation outside, Ned and Petra end up eating the Millers. The trio, Ned, Petra, and Dag, are eventually in the basement, waiting for the raid outside to end. They start to confront each other about the silly, embarrassing things that happened in their childhood. However, the trio also have good memories about their past in school and start to reminisce about their young years in the town. After a while, they decide to go to Dag's house to see his parents as he is worried for his family. When they manage to get out of the basement, Petra is burnt because of the sun outside. Seeing that, Dag takes off his clothes and gives it to Petra. When they meet again at the high school, Dag discovers that the aliens don't attack him and just move away. Ned reveals that the aliens ignore Dag because he is naked and the aliens can only see the inorganic materials. Later on, the trio goes to the cafeteria of the school. Dag and Ned start to quarrel due to some friction they had in the past. Petra comes and talks to Dag after finding him sitting alone in a corner. As Petra starts to open up, Dag becomes disillusioned with Lorelai, as she is not as good as he thought. He also feels sorry for Petra as she is turned into a vampire by Milan. Finally, Dag and Petra end up making out. The aliens arrive at their place and they decide to continue going to Dag's house. However, to hide from the aliens, they walk to Dag's house undressed. Upon arrival, Dag's parents are nowhere to be found. At this point, the trio run to the basement and encounter an alien hiding in a corner. Ned is grabbed by the alien and disappears in the nick of time, even though Petra and Dag try to save him. Later on, Dag is talking with Petra, assuming that Ned is dead. He tells her how regretful he is for ditching Ned when they were kids. To their surprise, Ned shows up and it turns out that he is still alive. He comes up with the idea to get rid of the alien, giving them what they want, tetrafluorspam, a chemical that is used at Rick's meat factory. The next day, the trio head to Rick's place and ask him to give the aliens the chemical. However, Rick doesn't agree as it brings no profit to him. Meanwhile, Ned eats Rick's girlfriend, causing the trio to be kicked out. Now, the trio has no choice but to get to the other dimension to see the other residents of the town. When they arrive, Petra sees Milan and finally hits him for revenge. Ned and Dag finally reunite with their family. At this point, the people of the town are kept and separated into 3 groups: humans, vampires, and zombies by the firewalls. With Ned's idea to save the town, they run to the walls together to get to the other dimension. They eventually rush to Rick's place and convince him to give the chemical to the aliens. Eventually, Rick pumps it into a big tub while the aliens approach and dive into it. In a while, it forms into a giant alien that can speak. The alien thanks the people of the town for giving them the chemical that sustains them, and starts to lecture the humans for being a mess. Being sick of the lecture, Petra and the other people of the town step up. The alien gets angry and starts to kill the people. At that point, a pipe of ammonia is pouring onto the alien and making it melt. Realizing this, the people of the town start pouring ammonia to eliminate the alien. In the meantime, Milan appears from behind Petra and drags her in a corner, about to kill her. However, Dag unhesitatingly shows up and fights him back. Dag grows up and turns into a werewolf. During the fight, Milan accidentally lands on a stick, killing himself. At this point, he starts to realize this is the huge change that his parents were talking about earlier. After being exposed to ammonia, the alien gets smaller and goes back to the spacecraft. Later on, the alien drops a bomb down to kill everyone in the town. Ned catches the bomb and gives it to Dag, who throws the bomb and gives it back to the ship, making it explode. Days later, Dag shows up in school and is asked out by Lorelai. However, he chooses Petra instead. Ned finally has a bond with his brother, who is now a zombie. Like and subscribe to watch more videos like this, and don't forget to turn on your notifications. That really helps my channel. Thanks for watching.